basically my pain for entrepreneurs is when you guys, we guys, because I'm myself, I'm also an entrepreneur, when we spend more and more money, marketing dollars, and then we get the first client, and then we sold to that first client, and then boom, we forget about him or her, and we just move to others, and we invest more and more and more marketing dollars into digital, into leads, into funnels, into everything. But that inside, you're not satisfied. One, because your money is out there not bringing you what you want. Number two, it is not easy to create those relationships with new clients all the freaking time. Like, it's not easy. It's much, much easier to build relationships with existing ones, because then they A, recommend you, and B, they buy more from you. Like, look at my clients from Ukraine. During the war, they're asking me to come and help and do a workshop for them. Like,
welcome back to the Empowered Woman, Badass and Unfiltered podcast. And we are in the most impactful guest season, season 9. And I could not do this without a woman that is changing the world. She has helped over 150 at this time now, women flee from Ukraine while running a business, and getting her word out and her message out. And her name is Anastasia, and she is back. I'm so happy to have her. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, hey, thank you for inviting me.
So, okay, just to give, if you didn't hear about the episode before, we talked about the importance of networking and how when you are networking with individuals, you're not doing it just for like, oh, what can I get from this right now? You think about it in a sense of, how can we help each other? What do I have to offer them? And also, like, who do I know that might help them with something else? And the importance of really looking at networking from a different aspect than that, than what we do nowadays of like, let's go in, let's not even really build rapport, let's just exchange cards, and then you never really like get back in touch with the person. And it's so transactional networking is something that I see that we do a lot more. Well, she was talking about the importance of not doing that. So if you are a business owner, you should definitely listen to that. If you're a person that just likes to network in general, you need to listen to that. It really will help change your mind on things. And just talking about the struggles and just the tenacity and the strength of the Ukrainian people, and just it gave me so much more gratitude to count the everyday blessings. I feel like we over here in America, we tend to see other problems, be like, oh, that's sad, and keep going about our days, and then complaining about the small things, not even acknowledging the little blessings that we have, and not realizing that we how privileged we are. If you're listening to a podcast right now, you are so privileged to be listening to a podcast. So that's just a little recap. But what have you been doing since we last talked?
Hey, this is so true, by the way, about complaining. So true, because like people whine about gas prices in Europe, and in the US is the same. However, I want you to know, guys, that the gas prices you have here are the same in Ukraine now, and at the same, people are trying to still run businesses and still and they're under attacks every single day. So, and get me right, I'm not trying to say that somebody's pain is smaller or bigger. No, it's just that everything is in comparison. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So since we talked now, by the way, there is a little correction to what you've said. I did not help 150 women to flee Ukraine, but once they fled, I helped them with, accommodation, little jobs to get them through. And then the psychological support that my friend, my amazing friend that from New York is doing. So yeah. Now it's a bit slower because my girlfriends are now somewhere already, in Europe, and they have already started either a job or their kids have started school. So it's a bit calmer than it was in the beginning when, everybody was in shock. And then since then, 80% of my business used to be in Ukraine. That's why when it all started, my business went super down, even though before it was like extremely successful. So yeah, that a note to you guys who think that your business is successful and it's always going to be like that. Nope. Nope. Yeah, there are different factors that influence it, of course, and we do as best as we can as entrepreneurs. But who would have predicted that there would be war, right? So, but then after, everything got back to, I can't say to normal, but people got used to the war. Like you get used to the war. You try to still operate and do your thing. I've been back and forth to Ukraine. I'm based in London now, but I'm back and forth in Ukraine, and because clients wanted me back. And this is not about me. It's more about, I'd say it's more about Ukrainian spirit, when people just go on no matter what. At the same time, it is a crash test to everything I was telling you before, because, I was telling you how much we have to be invested in relationships with our clients. And it is an investment, like you spend time on that, right? With clients and friends and just people around you. So this is a crash test to everything I was telling you, right? Because, what about a crash test for your business than the war, and then clients returning to you in the war? Like, right? And I didn't do any marketing. I have no money for marketing. Like I've stopped all marketing because you have to, to cut some costs when business isn't going so good. So yeah, and now we have more clients in the US, more clients in London, and Ukraine. So now it's even bigger than it was before.
Wow. There's a lot that you said there.
There's
I was taking notes. And, it's funny when I talk to people about this like the podcast we did, I always let them know, like, when I say helpfully, I mean, she's helped them find jobs. She's helped them. And I didn't say that in the intro, but yes, when I tell people about it, I'm like, she's helped them, find places to stay and stuff like that, because that's a part of the process. You can leave and get out the country, and you still, like, it's just like, what? It's like, what am I going to do now? And that key that you were doing, and the fact that you have that friend that helps add that psychological support to help address the trauma that they're facing, that is so powerful. And I love that you added that component. And I love that you also said, if you think you have a successful business, because we aren't in control of anything but how we respond to things. That is it. And you chose to respond by being a selfless servant, like seriously, in so many ways. You really did have such a pride and honor for, your country and helping your people and getting the word out. And it's like, I really, when I met you, it was really a shift. You weren't focused so much on that. And one of the things that you said in the podcast too was that really stuck with me, was how we usually avoid the parts about war in the Bible, but it was actually very consoling during that time.
Yeah.
And it's like just every little piece that it shows so much about your character, the person you are. And yeah, that's why I had to have you here, because like there's so many things that like I constantly think of you, at least throughout the week, of like, oh my goodness, this amazing woman, is out here, running a business, doing things, and now you're busier than you were before. How are you doing?
I'd say much better. I was, and also I want to be super frank because it will be helpful to those people who are like me, who, when the crisis hits, you go ahead and help other people, right? So, and that's us. I'm not trying to say to do anything differently. That's us. That's who we are. So we wouldn't have done it a different way. However, that also means to be prepared that when everybody's going through, trauma and tragedy and crisis, and they're completely actionless, and you are so into action, it's going to hit you, but it's just going to hit you later than them. Okay. So there is no avoidance of this. It is going to hit you. Okay. So, because for us, this helps us, helping others helps us to go through the crisis. And we think that if this is helping us right now, that's how it's going to be. No, it's going to hit you eventually. So it did eventually hit me. I was depressed. Yeah, there were days when I was in my bed, like from morning till night, and I just didn't want to go out and get out of my bed. And like nobody could get me out, like nobody. And mentally, I was in a, like this place, like when you feel you're in a dark hole, that was the feeling. So yeah, so I had to go through this, and no, I did not help myself. As they teach you, you have to help yourself. Your body can teach you everything. No, not in my case, at least. Maybe somebody could do that. I did have to ask for my therapist's help, and because it was just, yeah, I couldn't have done it. And then my therapist, it was interesting. He looked at me and he said, you need a vacation. And again, talking to those guys who are, very busy in your work, I was like, vacation from what? I'm not even close to doing work I used to do, right? So it's like it almost felt unfair to take a vacation when you do not have the same income as you used to have. When basically, like, what are you tired of? And he actually told me, you crisis and pain and hurt make you tired, make you exhausted. Yeah, so I thought it was very selfish to go on vacation at that time. But then my husband told me, like, he looked at me, he said, you gotta go. Because I was like, I was depressed, I was angry all the time, angry, like everything would piss me off, like everything from little to big. And even though I thought that was super selfish, I did decide to go, and it was, nothing fancy, like a little village in Italy, like village, one restaurant, nothing else. But it did have a beach, okay? And that's exactly what I needed. And I have to tell you, I got back to London a new person, and everybody saw it. So I didn't know, and I want to share this because before I knew how to, I knew if I work a lot, I need a vacay. Like I knew how to read myself, I know, when everything is pissing me off, then probably I'm just tired from work and from the loads of work. So we know how to read ourselves. But then when crisis hits, you're becoming a new person, and you have to almost like learn to read yourself once again. It's not the same pattern, it's not the same everything. So yeah.
That's big. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love your authenticity. It's just it's the realness for me. I love that. Like
It's true. I mean,
I
I'm trying to be
know.
raw because if I want to, I mean, what's the sense for people to listen to a podcast where everybody says how successful they are, how good they are? I mean, yeah, there are times when we are extremely successful, and thanks God. And and we give away more when we are successful and good, so we are able to bless others. But then there are times when there is no success, when there is when there is no good mood, when there's no positivity. And yeah, and let's be frank about that, because I don't want people to be hard on themselves. I'm not positive today, I'm not happy today. Well, yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah. I've had to learn that in ways. And I also, you're so right about how you can't avoid the crisis no matter what you're doing. Because
Mhm.
for me, with the hurricane, which is not anything like war, it was over a lot faster, but I was in jump like mode to like help out, but then I got super depressed afterwards. And it did take me a while. And you're right, you change, you have to learn yourself again. after crisis. Um, and, we're constantly evolving and growing, and this is a pivotal change in your life. What do you think has really helped you? Like, what are a few of the things that have helped you the most through this time that, you're still in Ukraine's still in war?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, I also don't want to be somebody who is ruining what you guys listening to this have believed, but I don't believe in being resilient just by yourself, and I don't believe in being brave just by yourself and thriving. You can thrive yourself. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't. So to me, it was number one, and I will always say it, people around me. I've come to understand that there is only one big value in our life, and that's people around us, nothing else. Seriously, nothing else. If people around us, they can bring you to life. They can help, you can help, if you have like the good, right people in your circle. And then number two, yeah, you need to have faith, and you can call it whatever. Yes, I'm a Christian, you can call it whatever, but faith moves you on. Like, it gives you the why to wake up in the morning, right? Like, why are you waking up? For some people it could be your mission. Like, what's your mission? Why are you waking up? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Because it's not easy to be in front of 300 400 people giving them a speech, and when inside you're worrying about your parents all the time. My parents are back in Ukraine, right? When you're worrying about your country, so it wouldn't be possible to do A, without people around you, and B, without reminding yourself why you're doing this. Which in my case, I'm on stage not for me, I'm on stage for them. Like, I want to help them, want to help entrepreneurs, or business owners, or top managers. I want to help them build better relationships with their employees and clients, because that influences it. It doesn't only influence your business, it influences and your bottom line. It influences the quality of life, of everyday life. So I think these things really have helped. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. We need people, and we have to have faith or a mission.
Mm-hmm.
That's the like two biggest things. Now I want to talk a little bit about your business. What exactly you do, who exactly you help. Just so, if anybody's listening and they need your services, they know where to reach out.
Yeah. Well, simply put, I help businesses to keep their clients, to retain their clients and employees. That's simply put. Okay. And by what am I doing this? I'm doing it by helping them to create wow experience, both for their employees and clients, so that they could disrupt their industries. Because usually, when they start doing this, they just become incomparable to others. Like, you can't, you differentiate yourself so much. So yeah, I'm doing it through consultancy, workshops, and that my background is working with big companies like Max Mara, McDonald's, Kenzo, banking. So I done this, but then entrepreneurs started asking, could you, help a little company? Because we have a problem of losing employees that just leave, or we have a problem, basically my pain for entrepreneurs is when you guys, we guys, because I'm myself, I'm also an entrepreneur, when we spend more and more money, marketing dollars, and then we get that first client, and then we sold to that first client, and then boom, we forget about him or her, and we just move to others, and we invest more and more and more marketing dollars into digital, into leads, into funnels, into everything. But then inside, you're not satisfied. One, because your money is out there not bringing you what you want. Number two, it is not easy to create those relationships with new clients all the freaking time. Like, it's not easy. It's much easier to build relationships with existing ones, because then they A, recommend you, and B, they buy more from you. Like, look at my clients from Ukraine. During the war, they're asking me to come and help and do a workshop for them. Like, I mean, what about a crash test, So yeah, so basically that's what I do. And somebody has asked me if I could do a short program, because usually my programs are deep and long and all of that. But somebody has asked me if I should do a shorter program. So I'm considering of doing like a 30-day thing, like very distilled, for coaches, experts, and entrepreneurs who have who sell services. Okay. So yeah, just something that would be super fast, for you guys to go and implement. So I'm thinking about that right now. And if I prepare it, I'll be happy to send you the link to that.
Yes, definitely send me the link to that, because I'll be very interested in that. And also I'm the assistant general manager of a fine dining restaurant now. So that's also
Okay.
and
Yeah.
employee retention is something that all companies in America are dealing with right now.
It's not just in America. Employee retention in the UK is huge. However, what I've noticed, and you will like this case. So a friend of mine was looking for a job in the restaurant business, assistant to general manager job in the restaurant business in London. Now, restaurants in London are crying for people. It's horrible. The retention level is just horrible. So that person went to 30 interviews. And here's my question to you. How many of those 30 people in the restaurant business during the interview have suggested coffee, tea, or water to a candidate? Just guess.
Maybe two.
One. Yeah. Now, how many? Then they had trial shifts. They had 6 trial shifts, and I won't go on with those riddles for you guys, but out of 6 trial shifts, trial shift is when the person comes and spends time with you guys, right? Like they come and do the shift or half of the shift or even 2 hours. So they give you their time. And out of the 6 shifts, only one restaurant actually gave the feedback, and that's where she got hired. Meaning, we are desperate for employees. We are saying, we blame it to everything, starting COVID and ending with whatever. But then at the same time, we as businesses do not do simple things for that retention, like simple things. So that's something also how business is. And we just did one with the company is named Maker Construction. So the guys basically what they do, they help to construct stuff, right? It's a construction company, and they do concrete and very hardware company.
Yeah.
But they were asking me, can you help us with our employee experience, like candidate experience, and then first day on the job, how to, as leaders, what should we do so that they want to feel appreciated, so that they feel appreciated? What can we do there? So we actually did the whole roadmap for them for the whole year. What do you do with your employees so that they don't leave you? These are such simple things, just that we don't pay attention to them. So yeah, there should be a shift now. Businesses, should start considering their employees as their clients. This is our clients, employees as clients, and not like before when we were picky and like, oh, sell me the pen. Oh my God, this is such a, like during the interview, they would tell you to try to sell me the pen from that movie. Which movie was it?
I don't remember what movie it is, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like it's so stale. Like, guys, seriously. Yeah.
I love the trial shifts. I really love that. My manager, I did notice, because he had a mass hiring. Now, I've worked with the company that I work for now for 3 years, and how it happened, we've needed an AGM for a year now, almost a year. And I emailed the vice president of our region, and I emailed the regional manager, and I emailed my GM while I was like doing like just extra shift work and helping out because they needed the help.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay, what's the process of, this, being hired on and with like are promoted. And I was literally offered the job within 2 weeks of me asking that question. And
Wow.
I very fortunate because I mean I've worked with the company. They all know me. They know my work ethic. They know I'm dependable and I'm clean. Um, you know, clear background check. I don't do drugs. I don't, I have a good rapport with the guests that we have
Yeah.
come in, and I have a good relationship with my coworkers. Well, now we're going through hiring so many people. We're in such a stage of transition, and we have to be picky because we are fine dining. We can't just have any,
That's
everybody.
good.
And I mean, but at the same time, I would love for people to see what the dynamic is and
Mm-hmm.
see if, because it's really hard to just meet a person and see them and then just go based off of that one initial meeting and be like, okay, let's get you on, let's get you all signed up, let's get you all the workbook stuff, and then let's get you to do some shifts, shadow this day. It's a longer process. I would like to see their work ethic more. It's a trial day, tryout day for both of us.
It is. It is. No, when I said picky, I meant no, it's good for businesses to be. I always say, please be picky with who you hire. Yeah. But I was probably more thinking of the attitude that we have towards those people, right?
Like they
Like
need us, we don't need them.
exactly. Yes, like arrogant picky. That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to be picky, and yes, I so much agree. There shouldn't be just one interview, especially in fine dining. At least two, and then one would be good to have one interview with the fellow colleague, so that they also, see it, could tell if they like the person or not. Trial shift is a great way to see how the person behaves if you told them what you're expecting them to do on a trial shift, because that's again something the companies would just say, oh, it's a trial shift, well, follow Samuel. So and I, we sit down with companies and we do like the scenario for the trial shift so that the person knows what they're doing, the other person knows what they're doing with that new person. So they would always say, okay, guys, during the huddle, they'd say, this is Samuel, he's joining us today for the trial shift. There's always respect, there's always including the person. So yeah, there is lots and lots of details that show your candidate that you're a great company. Because you know what this has done to my friend. So remember, she's been to 30 interviews.
Yeah.
And now when we go out for a drink, and I'll be like, maybe let's go here. This looks like a nice place. You know what she says? No, we're not going there because they never gave me feedback. Maybe there. Oh, no, we're not going there because when I came for the trial shift, they were extremely arrogant. I didn't know what to do, and they were pissed with me because I didn't know what to do. So if you think of it, your candidates are your potential clients.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way you should treat them. Doesn't matter you hire them or you don't hire, that's fine. But just make sure that even if you don't hire them, they'll be like, oh my gosh, this is such a good company, and I really want to give them business. I want to go for a drink to that company, to that restaurant, or to eat out just because they were so good to me.
Oh yeah, I love this. That was very helpful. And yeah, so let me know whenever any of your things are coming out. I will have all of your links linked below in the bio and description. Was there anything else you'd like to share today?
I think my biggest thing for right now is, especially for those people who are more of either lonely nuts or those people who think they could do everything by themselves. I would really, really encourage you guys to rethink that. Because like, here's me, like I did believe it. I've been raised as a woman who can do everything, who should be independent, who is strong and blah, blah. That's good. I'm not trying to say it's bad, but just rethink it. You need to have that support system of the crazy people around you who will stand up for you. And also at the same time, when you see somebody in trouble, don't ask they're going to ask you for help. Don't wait they're going to ask you for help. There are proud people like us. We don't ask for help, but we still need it. Mm-hmm. So if you see somebody in trouble, and I've learned this with my girls, with 150 girls. I told you, Ukrainian women are very proud, good proud. That's good. They have their dignity, but there's also a drawback to that. So like, for example, I asked one of my friends, I said, I know you were leaving, and she used to live in the Kherson area, which is now occupied by Russian soldiers. And I was saying, you know what, when you left, and I know she had an awful story of leaving, right? Like she was shot, her car was shot. It was just horrible. So I said, I bet you didn't bring much. And she says, well, I did bring enough. So here, I know now you have to ask a question. So it's like, can you tell me how many pieces of clothes do you have? She's like, oh, I do have 2 pairs of jeans and 3 t-shirts. So then, I went on and helped her, gave her my clothes and all of that. But, if you see somebody's just went through hurricane, for example, and guys, I'm so sorry for you because I saw it. It was just devastating. Do not ask for them. Do not wait for them to ask you for help. Go and call. Don't send a message when, when you see that somebody has lost their dear one. Please do not send an RIP message. That's rude. That's rude. Call them. Say, you know what? I'm here. What help do you need? If they don't say anything, still help. Still help. Send flowers, show up, bring them food, like do stuff for people. Because I think that as society, we have also become so, we kind of think it's the boundaries, that people have their privacy boundaries. That's also true. But at some point, we have become so respectful of those boundaries that we almost have become cold with people. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Oh, she said she doesn't need help, and I don't want to be intrusive. People won't tell you they need help. Like, not many people will.
Yeah. Oh man, that's learn to ask for help, and don't wait for somebody to ask you. Just go ahead and go in and see, how you can be of service to them when you know what I'm saying? Like when you know that something's going on, just make the phone call. Go ahead and take the extra step. Be a better human. You always make me feel so motivated. I love talking with you.
That's good. I want you guys to be motivated. Because there's a lot we still have to do.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Anastasia, for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Olivia. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Empowered Woman, Badass and Unfiltered podcast. If you found any value in this, please consider sharing and subscribing. Now go out and be a badass.